Hey guys, if this is your first time on my channel, we're about motorcycles, doing things with my kids, and a little bit of these guys. The turkeys are chiming in over there. What's up, Gobbles? He just likes to hang out there. So anyways, I'm trying to figure out what's going on Highway 38. Not sure what's going on. I know they had that mudslide at the end of July. Haven't really heard much since probably the second week of July. Can't really find any information on it. You know, I want to know what's taken so long, what really happened, and when it's going to be open. So if that's something that interests you, please stick around and join us. What's up, everybody? Another day, another ride, another adventure clutching to life. Highway 38 is a beautiful drive. It is one of my favorites. And that's not just because it originates right in my backyard. It is really because of the quality of the road is just superb. One of the few roads in Southern California that is pretty much intact. CALTRANS does a really nice job at maintaining it. There are some really decent long straightaways with passing, such as this right here. Here we go, baby. Woo! I really do need to be careful today, because I am fully expecting numerous highway patrol up this road. I'm not sure if it's open yet. I'm not sure if nope, Highway 38 is closed at Angelus Oaks. All right. If you live in Southern California, you may not even know where Highway 38 is or where it goes. But if you live in the Eastern Inland Empire, Highway 38 is your back door to adventure, your back road to adventure. You see, Highway 38 provides Mentone, Redlands, and Yucaipa access to the San Bernardino National Forest and ultimately Big Bear. There are so many points of interest in between those two places, and the first one would be Forest Falls, which we passed just a little bit ago. But really the gateway to the San Bernardino National Forest, although it is a few miles inside the forest line, is Angelus Oaks, and that's where we're heading now. It is not your main route into Big Bear from the valley floor, but it does get a decent amount of traffic. There are quite a few camps up here. I think the Boy Scouts have a camp. I believe that there are several state and national forest campgrounds. There's Lake Jenks, which has some good fishing. There there's also the Seven Oaks Lodge. It's a little resort campsite, campground down in the valley below Angelus Oaks. Angelus Oaks has some really beautiful cabins that you can rent there. You know, it's just an amazing drive. It takes anywhere, depending on how fast you're going, 40 minutes to an hour to get from the valley floor to Big Bear. So it's not your most direct route, but it is certainly, in my opinion, the nicest route as far as traffic, scenery, and the quality of the drive as far as road conditions. And you know, if you get a chance to come up here once this road reopens, please take the time, come up, and you know, respect the communities up here. But really, they do a lot to make you feel welcome. So please, you know, find some time to visit these shops and lodges and stores and restaurants that provide services to the people that come through here. They really depend upon it. And plus, the last month, everything has been shut down. So they could really use the business. And as soon as this route opens, I'll be sure to update the information and let everybody know. But little monkey. So I've made my way up to Angelus Oaks, and not really a lot of traffic up here. As soon as you get into town here, there's signs all over the place saying the highway is closed. Every business is either shuttered or I did find a market that was open. There's a sign on the door saying the highway is closed, don't ask, you know, basically giving directions on the sign and a phone number to CALTRANS. So I'm assuming that they're getting a lot of inquiries as to, I mean, I would assume a lot of people are coming up and not even knowing that the road is closed. So I was up here at the general store and I ran into this guy, Matt. He says he's going mudding, and it's nice to see that they haven't stopped riding up here. So you're local, Matt?
Yeah, I'm local. Right.
How long have you been up here?
15 years.
Yeah?
Yeah, and yeah, just gonna go out and try to get some thunderstorm action today up to Onyx Peak. Got to go around the road closure. They're putting in some new culverts up here from a flash flood, and they're kind of going slow because they think that it's gonna wash out again, so they're not really being super on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's already, my understanding is the reason that we haven't heard a lot and it's taking so long is because it wasn't just a single event. It was multiple events over multiple days that hit the road, and they keep getting to a certain point, then it washes out again, and then they reconstruct it and it washes out again.
Yeah.
And so
holding back all the moisture, all the flood water, so it just goes barreling through there.
And then today, it's even a flash flood warning again today, which is the reason you're going out, right?
That's right. I'm gonna go out. I'm either getting shocked or soaked to death. Yeah.
That sounds awesome, man. So you're gonna go mudding, you're gonna get up in the hills and do some riding, huh?
Yeah, hell yeah.
That sounds like so much fun. I wish I had my bike up here and we'd go and hit that shit together.
Go along and get roosted a little, huh?
Well, have fun today, and thanks for taking the time to say hi.
No problem.
The only traffic I've seen so far is construction vehicles. Everybody seems to be pretty new. Nobody really knows what's going on. And I'm gonna try to sneak my way down the road and get into a little closer to where the action is, and they're doing the road repairs. So, as I was getting on the bike to go home and grab the truck, it started to rain. And here we are. I'm gonna, I was gonna originally get the truck and then try to creep in and get closer to the closure, but since it started to rain, we might have some action, and I'm gonna pull up and see if I can get in to have a conversation with So this is the first area that I've come across. This, I believe, is the second event. This is a mud flow. I can't really get a picture of how far up this little canyon the flow originated from, but you can see the destruction on the bottom portion here. And that is a pretty large excavator in the bottom of this hole. And here we have another excavator. That is Highway 38 right there. And they are digging out what looks like to be an area for a culvert. They might be putting in a culvert here. So yeah, this area got pounded. So same location back up on Highway 38. You can see this is the leftovers, or what they did with a lot of the material that they scraped off the road, creating this berm on the downhill side. And here's the flow. It would be tough for me to believe that everybody understands and knows what a culvert is when we talk about culverts out here. I assume it's just common knowledge for me because I work in the industry. So I work in roads and highways, and as we look up here, there is a little canyon that runs down the side of the hill here, and as water collects, it comes down the hill and it hits right here, and up above me is the road. Here's the road up there, and what they do is they build these things, and they're called culverts up underneath the road. And here's the culvert, and this is a very small culvert. This culvert is probably 18 to 24 inches. It's encased in concrete. It collects water on this side of the road and diverts it under the road and to the other side. You can see this one's fairly cleaned out, but it collects water from two directions. Up along the road, comes down and hits in here, and then another one that comes down the side of the hill and hits right here. So it collects the water and diverts it under the road instead of over the road. That last area that we were looking at had a 6-foot culvert, possibly two 6-foot culverts on the uphill side, and they were overwhelmed. There was so much debris, mud, rocks, trees that came down the hillside that it clogged the culverts and did not allow the water to get through under the road to the other side. Hence, that filled up and overwhelmed the road. All the debris and the mud flow went over the road and down the road rather than under the road. And in that particular location, we were fortunate enough that that the road wasn't severely damaged or undermined. So we finally made it to mile marker 2475, and we are here at you're looking at the uphill side of the debris flow where it was. You can see here that this was a massive flow. You can also see that this area was burned out quite a bit. This is from the gender reveal fire in Yucaipa. Luckily they stopped the fire at this side of the 38. The other side of the 38 is relatively untouched as far as fire goes. But this is where, you know, here's the thing, it really didn't rain that much, and none of the roads up here on the 38 never got washed out. But what did happen was, you can see all that acreage of mountainside up there. And it only takes 2/10 or a quarter of an inch of rain to fall over this entire area, and all that water is focused into this little crack. And as that water accumulates and is focused over even 20 minutes to a half an hour, that hydraulic pressure builds up, and it is so great it can move hundreds and thousands of tons of material. And because this area was completely burned out and there's really very little holding it together, it all just crumbled, came apart, and flowed down the side of the hill. It filled up the culvert on this side here, and it overwhelmed the road. It went over the road. Like I said, you can see this side of the road, it's the downhill side, untouched by fire. Untouched by fire. And so all this debris came across the road and down the road. I was told there was 2 to 3 feet of debris on this road, and debris flowed down here as well. Now you can see they're placing in a bunch of new riprap. They put in a new 72-inch culvert. You can see there's still water flowing down here, but you can see some of the debris in this little stream that was washed down from this debris flow. They also put in a shoulder drain here, a 24-inch shoulder drain that would catch water that comes down the side of the road and not wash directly over or under these rocks. So right here, a little uphill from that main flow, is a new culvert that was just put in. That looks like a 4-foot culvert, and it is brand new, and this is meant to catch a lot of water from up around this curve and down from this mountainside right here. You can see that it flows on down. Over there's that area where we were talking about earlier. And comparatively speaking, with that culvert that I showed earlier, this is a much more sound structure. This structure here is going to be able to handle much more volume. It's going to be more stable. It's not going to wash out. But when you're looking at the 24-inch to 18-inch culvert that we looked at earlier, that's probably one of those 50 areas identified by Caltrans that's going to need work in the future. So in any case, this steel plate is where the new culvert is buried, and they've got it blocked off to keep debris from coming in. They said in the next few days they're going to have this completely paved out. Across this road is going to be paved out, and this section of the road will be repaired. It's not that these areas necessarily washed out, but Caltrans has identified numerous locations that are going to be potential issues in the future. And what they're really trying to do is prevent this from happening again and having closure after closure after closure without dealing with this issue in its totality. They had similar issues up in Idlewild recently, and they had over 100 locations that they took care of, from what I was told last year. And I think that's why the road up to Idlewild is so beautiful. Right now it's like freshly paved, the entire route. But in this area, they have 50 some locations that they've identified. They want to go through. All of these areas are going to pose potential problems in the future with future rains. They're anticipating, since we've had so little rainfall for so long now, that it's going to start to rain at some point. And they want to make sure that these structures that are in place on this road are able to facilitate the necessary drainage that is required. In any case, I know a lot of you are asking, why is this taking so long? The simple answer is this, that this wasn't just one event. on July 31st. You know, that was when the main event happened. That's when the vehicles got stranded. That's when they had to come in and get some people out. That was the one that caught everybody off guard. A couple of weeks after they had cleared the roads off and they were starting the process of reconstructing these culverts and clearing out these culverts, there was another rain event. And this event just submerged the roads with another 2 to 3 feet of mud. So it was like starting all over again. So that's the simple answer to why is this taking so long. The other answer to this is that they have identified multiple areas that really are going to pose significant issues in the future if they continue to have the level of rainfall that they've been having over this summer. And you know, this is actually normal. Some people would say that you know, it's weird, we got this much rain and these monsoonal rains are coming through and this isn't normal, but it actually is. This long term, this is the normal weather pattern this type of year. In late summer, we should expect monsoonal rains, which are quick dumps of water over short periods of time that accumulate and flash flood. And so we haven't had these in so many years, and these culverts are so outdated that they're not able to effectively handle the volume of water and the hydraulic pressure that comes down the side of these hills. Now, when you add the factor of burn areas to that, it multiplies the amount of debris in the flow. And so what we have is a perfect storm of issues. Now, in what I heard Caltrans say, and I want to say thank you to Caltrans for the good work they're doing up here, is that they've identified 50 some areas where they have questionable structures under the road that could very easily become overwhelmed. And in the process of identifying these structures, they've prioritized repairs, and they're going to start doing as many of these repairs as they can. Okay, so as I wrap things up and make my way back down to my truck, I want to say a couple of things. First of all, you know, it's easy to look at an organization like Caltrans and say, hey, you know, what the hell is taking so long? And why isn't this getting done? Why is the road still closed? And considering all the information that has been revealed and I've tried to include in this video, you know, Caltrans is really fighting a battle that that is ebbing and flowing, you know, back and forth. Nature sticks it to them, and then they try to catch up and get some stuff done, and before nature comes back and hits them again. And even as I'm walking back to my vehicle, it's raining. There's lightning on both sides of the road here. Thunder clashing as I make this video. And so this is not an easy task. And when you throw on top of the outside agencies that don't include Caltrans, such as the State Water Board and the National Forest Service and Fish and Wildlife and all these different places that want to get their finger in the pie and have some say in how this is done, this is next to an impossible task. But I will say this, Caltrans is out here, and at some point very soon they're going to be opening the road up, from what I understand, to you know, piloted or one-way traffic with flagmen, because the areas that they're working on are really not that significant in regards to the length of the road. However, the type of work that is going on is significant, and they do have quite a bit of stuff left to go. Now, how long is this process going to go on? Who knows? I doubt that they're going to be trying to get this done in the winter. Maybe they will. They may try to get a lot of this work done in the off season. But there is certainly a lot of work to be done. And I've got to hand it to Caltrans that they were able to do a survey and identify the weak points on the highway and come up with some sort of a plan of attack to get to these areas so that ultimately in the future we're not going to be having continuous closures on Highway 38. So I just want to say thank you to CALTRANS and them allowing me in to gather some information and video for you guys, because ultimately this is about you. You guys are the taxpayer, and you deserve to know that your money's being well spent. And in this case, CALTRANS, in my opinion, is doing an outstanding job and doing everything that they can to make this road available and safe for the public. So with that, I'd like to say goodbye and thanks for watching.